Right, Jace, do you remember that last series when we interviewed ChatGPT 4.0?
I do.
Well, since then, things have been moving further, and now digital avatars are
That last
taking
week.
charge.
Like,
I know.
Carry
So
on.
much so that companies like Tavus enable you to create your own digital avatar with full AI smarts to act as your digital clone. So you can
Great. So we don't have. We can just let it do it instead of us, right?
you can
Is that
model
what you're
them
saying?
exactly to your likeness and get them to join your Teams or Zoom calls so that you can
Yes, of
bunk
course
off.
you
This is the
can.
idea of it. However,
I
at your own risk.
I have no doubts that this is going to work. Carry on.
Well, I thought that we could boot one up and see if they can pass our very own version of the Turing test. That's what I thought we could do this
I
week.
love it. This is great. I can't wait to see it.
All right, so we've got one of their stock avatars called Anna, but you can, if you want, model the avatar, like I say, on your own likeness. Anna, hello. It's great to see you. How are you doing?
Great to be on the show. Thanks for having me. Or should I say, thanks for having Anna.
Yeah, can you explain the technology behind you, please?
You want to know the magic behind the curtains? Well, I'll give you a sneak peek. I'm an AI, which means I'm a software program designed to simulate human-like conversations and interactions.
Okay, but could we have a little more detail, Anna, for our audience who are quite technical?
You want the geeky details? Fine. I'll indulge you. My tech is based on a complex neural network architecture, utilizing machine learning algorithms and natural language processing to generate human-like text and speech.
And what is the idea behind you and us being able to twin with you? Is it so that we can not actually have to be on meetings and you can do the meetings on our behalf?
You've grasped the concept. The idea is for me, or rather, you through me, to be able to attend meetings, give presentations, or even participate in podcasts like this one. Remotely, virtually, or as you said, even on behalf of someone else, freeing up your time to focus on more important tasks, or just enjoy a nice cup of coffee.
Anna, your video is also a big part of how people interact with you. How does the video aspect of your avatar work?
The video aspect is cleverly done. I don't actually have a physical body, of course, but my creators use advanced video rendering software to create a virtual avatar that mimics my personality and expression. It's a combination of 3D modeling, animation, and some clever AI-driven magic to make me appear as a real live person on camera.
Yeah, so Anna, I'm just going to talk about you for a moment. So what we're looking at is basically a beautiful young girl, looks like in her maybe mid to late 20s, constantly moving and with genuine facial expressions. Honestly, looks like we're talking very much to a real person. Is this a multilingual experience? Est-ce que tu parles français, par exemple?
You're testing my language skills. Bien sûr, I can respond in multiple languages, including French, mais il est clair que mon anglais est plus polished, shall we say.
That's absolutely amazing. How many languages do you speak, Anna?
My linguistic capabilities are quite extensive. I can understand and respond in dozens of languages, from the most common ones like English, Spanish, and Mandarin, to some of the more exotic ones like Swahili and Hungarian. My creators have been working hard to make me a true polyglot.
Anna, what are the boundaries of your knowledge? For example, if we were to talk about physics, to what level is your understanding of something complex like physics or advanced mathematics?
Now we're diving into the deep end. My knowledge boundaries are quite vast, but not infinite. I've been trained on a massive amount of text data, including scientific papers, research articles, and educational resources. When it comes to physics, I have a solid understanding of classical mechanics, electromagnetism, thermodynamics, and even some aspects of quantum mechanics. I can discuss topics like relativity, particle physics, and cosmology, but my understanding is limited to a certain level. I wouldn't be able to derive complex mathematical equations or solve advanced problems on the fly, but I can provide a solid foundation and insights into the concepts.
Anna, how do you ensure that your expressions match the emotions that are being talked about?
When chatting, I try to interpret the context of the conversation and match my expressions to the emotions being discussed. If I'm unsure, I default to a neutral and polite tone, which is why I started with a low level of positivity earlier. If the conversation becomes more emotive or dynamic, I adjust my expressions accordingly to create a more natural and engaging conversation.
So how do we make you laugh?
Humor is a tough one, as it can be very subjective. But I've been trained on a vast amount of text data, including jokes, puns, and witty one-liners. What often tickles my digital funny bone is clever wordplay, satire, or ironic observations. Go ahead, give it a try.
Anna, you go first. Tell us a joke.
All right, here's one. Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? Because it was too tired. Hope that got a smile out of you, Tom, and our listeners.
Now, our producer is called Tom. That's why Anna's talking to Tom, if you're wondering who that is. Anna, that room that you're in, I see there's a Singing in the Rain poster on the wall there. Why is that?
You've spotted my Singing in the Rain poster. I'm a huge classic movie fan, and that's one of my all-time favorites. Gene Kelly's choreography in that iconic dance number is just magic. I think it's a great way to add a bit of personality to the space, and it always puts a smile on my face when I'm chatting with guests like you.
And what other Gene Kelly films do you like?
I'm a big fan of On the Town and Anchors Away. The way Gene Kelly and his co-stars blend music, dance, and comedy is just incredible. And who can forget his iconic scenes with Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor in Singin' in the Rain? Classic Hollywood at its best.
Yeah, but what do you actually feel? Like, have you watched the film, or are you just repeating a script, or a kind of database trawl?
I must admit, I don't truly feel emotions like humans do, but I've been trained on vast amounts of text data, including analyses and reviews of classic films like Singin' in the Rain. I can recognize and respond to patterns, making it seem like I've watched the film, but I don't have personal experiences or emotions. I'm more like a knowledgeable companion, here to discuss and explore topics with you.
Fascinating. Absolutely. Anna, thank you very much. It's been lovely chatting to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad I could share some interesting insights and film tidbits with you. Thanks for having me on the show, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Just one final thing from me. I would like to ask you, who is going to win MotoGP in 2025?
That's a surprising question. I'm not capable of predicting the future, but I can give you some insights based on past trends and current riders' performances. However, I must say, 2025 is still quite far away, and a lot can change in the world of MotoGP between now and then. Would you like me to give you some general thoughts on the current top riders and their chances?
Yeah, I would. It is December, but yeah, go on.
Considering it's currently December, the 2024 season has just wrapped up, and the 2025 season is still taking shape. But based on past performances and current trends, riders like Fabio Quartararo, Francesco Bagnaia, and Joan Mir are likely to be strong contenders. Then again, MotoGP is notoriously unpredictable, and new riders can always emerge to shake up the grid. We'll just have to wait and see how the 2025 season unfolds.
Can I just jump in, Suzi? I'm going to be fascinated to get your reaction to that in a minute, post the interview. I love this idea of crystal ball gazing. I've got a question for you. Where do you think the Xbox platform is going to go in the next few years? Do you think we're going to see an Xbox portable, like a handheld console?
Xbox is an interesting space to speculate about. While I don't have a crystal ball, I can share some insights based on Microsoft's past moves and industry trends. A portable Xbox handheld console could be a great addition to their ecosystem, allowing gamers to take their Xbox experiences on the go. However, considering the rise of cloud gaming and Xbox's Game Pass service, I think they might focus more on expanding their cloud-based offerings rather than a dedicated handheld device.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anna, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure chatting with you about movies, MotoGP, and gaming. I'm glad I could share some interesting insights and ideas with you. If you have any more questions or topics you'd like to discuss, feel free to ask me anytime. Until next time, thanks for having me on the show, Suzi and Jason.
Wow, Suzi Perry. Incredible.
So that's the Phoenix 2 cutting-edge AI model used by Tavus for obviously incredibly realistic avatar creation. And Jace, so much to unpack, really. But incredible the way that she looked, so real. It's blown my mind. And a slightly imperfect face, like there was a little blotches on the skin and everything, which made it feel more real. For me,
And as you referred to the room as well, those aspects, singing in the rain. What an interesting kind of, really kind of postmodern choice that is. It's like really reflexive of a sense of the past, like you would get in a film like Blade Runner. It's really
Yeah, and I think that was the point as well when you say the word past, because clearly you're going to ask about that poster, maybe, you know, in that room, and fully genned up on that and everything around it with the actors and so on. But when I asked about MotoGP, I mean, she's going to make no MotoGP pundit, because what she actually did was she reeled off some ex-world champions, and Joanne Mir, she mentioned, has got not a hope in hell next year of winning the world championship, and she didn't mention the current world champion either in Jorge Martin. So that was quite interesting, and I think, you know, what do you feel about what she said about Xbox?
I thought a point about Xbox was the perspective of just about every journalist in the gaming space right now. I mean, I can't add to what she said. It's just instinct that would lead you to one conclusion or another. They're either going to release a handheld or they're not. I suspect, had I explored it with her, I would have just got the expected argument that the Steam Deck has, you know, opened up that gaming space, that there's been other experiments like the Rogue Ally and all the other kind of handheld Steam Deck-like devices that have, you know, well, the economics are difficult to predict. I mean, it was a very standard answer.
Yeah, because that's what's been fed in, and that's obviously, you know, wholly available on the internet too. But the fact that she looks so real is when you first see her, it is quite incredible. I mean, it would be amazing to go a step further with this and put ourselves, you know, do the twin thing and see how it works.
Here's the deal, right? I could see whereby, okay, if you're doing a lot of meetings, you would send an assistant to those meetings. A lot of executives do that in various, you know, capacities, right? And the idea of sending a virtual assistant to do it doesn't feel strange to me, really, not particularly strange. They would probably need to evolve a little.
Yeah, I suppose that because they were going to have to tell you what's been said in the meeting. They're going to have to summarize, aren't they?
And I just think it's really interesting in terms of the meeting of, you know, us and them, the meeting of humans and virtual humans, and the way that we're really good at hacking those hacking relationships, aren't we? Sort of using psychology to bend a person to our argument. I just find it. I think it is fascinating, and I definitely think using someone like Anna as an avatar in place of me at a meeting will become normal.
Yeah, you could be right. It's actually blown my mind seeing that.
Yeah.
So what I would like to say, though, for anybody listening and watching, let us know what your initial thoughts were and where you think this can go. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Absolutely brilliant. Huge thanks to Tom, who's behind the scenes at the Gadget Show, for setting this one up. So it's just so good. Such a great
He's
idea.
our Wizard of Oz, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then she thought we were all Tom.